Once upon a time in a forest, there lived a poor rabbit. He was skin and bones. His eyes were dull and lifeless. His fur was patchy and unkempt. No one knows how it all began for the poor rabbit, but he's always been like that. The other rabbits shunned him, believing that he was cursed. They would often mock him, saying, "Hey, look, there's the poor rabbit. Feel sorry for you. No one wants to be your friend." The poor rabbit felt miserable, so he decided to run away from his home. He hopped into the forest, sniffed the air, and went in the direction of the delicious smell. He came across a little cottage made of twigs and leaves. The rabbit thought it was an anthill, so he jumped inside. But it wasn't an anthill. It was a mouse hole. A little mouse was busy arranging the furniture. The rabbit apologized for intruding and asked the mouse if he could stay there. The mouse didn't mind at all. In fact, he was very happy to have a guest. The mouse offered the rabbit some cheese he had stored in his pantry. The rabbit ate voraciously. It tasted like the most delicious food he'd ever eaten. The rabbit stayed in the mouse hole that night, and in the morning, he got a wild idea. He asked the mouse for some dry leaves to make a sign. The mouse had no objection. He even helped the rabbit make the sign. Then the rabbit went outside, hung the sign on a tree branch, and waited. Soon, some rabbits approached. "Hey, look, it's the poor rabbit. What are you doing here?" they asked. The rabbit replied, "I'm not the poor rabbit anymore. I have a new name. From now on, you must call me the lucky rabbit because I found a magical place where there is plenty of delicious food." The rabbits believed him and followed the rabbit to the mouse hole. The rabbit shouted, "Come inside, everyone. There's enough food for all of you." As soon as they entered the mouse hole, the mouse shut the entrance with a twig. The rabbits panicked. Some tried to dig a hole out, but it was of no use. They couldn't get out. The mouse said, "Looks like you're trapped now, rabbits. This is my territory, and you're trespassing." The rabbits begged the mouse to forgive them, promising that they would never enter his territory again. The mouse agreed to let them go if they could answer a riddle correctly. The first rabbit thought for a moment and said, "What has an eye but cannot see?" The mouse replied, "That's an easy one. It's a needle." The first rabbit was so embarrassed to be outwitted so easily that he simply hopped away. Next, the mouse asked the second rabbit, "What has a tongue but cannot speak?" The rabbit thought hard, but before he could answer, the third rabbit said, "It's a shoe. It's got a tongue, but it can't talk." The mouse was impressed. The third rabbit was a smart one. He decided to make a deal with the mouse. "Let my friends go, and I'll stay here with you as your servant." The mouse agreed. The third rabbit was indeed a clever one. He quickly became friends with the mouse and helped him arrange his pantry, clean his house, and do all sorts of chores. One day, while the two were having lunch, the rabbit said, "You know, you're very lucky that I came along. Otherwise, you would have remained poor all your life." The mouse replied, "What do you mean?" The rabbit explained, "Look at you. You're thin and weak. And look at me. I'm strong and healthy. Now that I'm staying with you, I'll protect you, and you can take care of the housework." The mouse didn't say a word. He picked up a knife and held it to the rabbit's throat. The rabbit was stunned. He couldn't believe that the little mouse was threatening him with a knife. The mouse said, "I was just pretending to be weak so that you would feel sorry for me and become my servant. But now it seems you're the one who needs my help." The rabbit nodded obediently. From then on, the roles were reversed, and the rabbit became the servant of the mouse. The clever mouse tricked the strong rabbit, and that's why we should always be careful around cunning people.